Hello, hello, everyone. So thank you so much for being here. So this is our third and final program in the Get Control of Your Life series. So basically, over the past 3 months, we've been learning strategies and getting advice from the experts on how do you live your life to the fullest by getting control of it. So today's program is how to sweeten your life. So Heidi will be talking in a few minutes about how to do all of that. And before that, I'm going to ask some of the sponsors on this call to introduce themselves and their business. So Jason Marks, I'm going to turn it over to you for just a quick minute. So tell us who you are, what you do, and anything that you want.
Anything I want. My name is Jason Marks. Good morning, or actually good afternoon, everyone. I am a partner at the law firm Curcio Mirzayan Surratt in Roseland. I chair the elder care and special needs practice group, as well as the estate planning practice group. What I do is I protect people's wealth. On the elder care side, it's protecting wealth from essentially having to spend it down on long-term care, making sure that there are resources available, funds available to supplement anything that long-term assistance might be paying for through Medicaid, and making sure that seniors can live as independent and as comfortable a life as they possibly can in their homes first, before even having to consider assisted living or skilled nursing facilities.
Oh, thank you so much, Jason. He gave a wonderful presentation. He was our kickoff presentation back in April, and he gave a wonderful presentation with my director of care management, Stacy Maines, and it was all about protecting your life and how to do that from a legal and care perspective. It was actually pretty popular, so we may be doing that again because I got a couple of people who were unable to make the call/video conference and asked us to do it again. So you may be getting an email for those of you who happen to miss it. So my name is Laura Husking. I'm from Generations Counseling and Care Management, and we're a full service geriatric care management firm. So we really focus heavily on advocacy. So if you don't know what a care manager does, basically they come in, make a comprehensive assessment, and then hand the family a care plan. And now the family can decide to implement the care plan on their own or hire us for an ongoing kind of service where we help them advocate for their loved ones. So we'll help hire the home care company. We'll help also help them find an assisted living if that's what they want. So it's really all up to the family. We can get as involved or as little involved as possible. So we're super flexible in that arena. We also provide psychotherapy services, which, to be honest, has been a godsend to a lot of the caregivers stuck at home over the past year. And our psychotherapy services are all covered by Medicare. So we've had a lot of issues where caregivers have been completely isolated and overwhelmed. And some of them are dealing with grief over losing one parent and still having to take care of another one. And personally, I took care of my mother when she was sick, and it can be such an overwhelming experience. So it really sometimes helps to talk to someone. And especially now with Zoom, you can do appointments online if you want to, or you can go into the office. So those are just a little things about Generations Counseling and Care Management. And we're very excited to be here and as a sponsor. And one of the other sponsors on the call who was not here at the moment is the Bristol Assisted Living. They have several wonderful facilities in Bergen County, as well as Passaic County. So we're very happy that they helped us with the program. So without further ado, I'm going to turn the program over to Heidi Gross, and she has a wonderful presentation in store. So if you guys have any questions, you can feel free to put them in the chat box if you don't want to forget them, because we're going to be doing questions at the very end. So either I can ask the questions from the chat box, or if you would prefer to just hold your question for the end, I can unmute you, or you can unmute yourself and ask it at the very end. So Heidi, take it away.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for organizing this, Laura. I really appreciate it. I'm excited about presenting today, Sweeten Your Life, which is a great concept. I'm going to actually share my screen with the presentation. If you don't know who I am, I will tell you, I am the publisher of a magazine called Autumn Years. Autumn Years is a free quarterly publication, which is dedicated to celebrating life over 60. And we are a quarterly publication, which means our summer issue is actually just out in the mails today as we speak. It's being mailed, which is exciting. So my presentation will just go through who we are, what we do, and the benefit of being a part of the magazine. So I'm sharing my screen. Okay, so can everyone see the screen? They could see?
Yep.
Just thumbs up. Yep, great. Okay, so thank you again, Laura, for having us here. And let's see now. I just have to figure out how to scroll this down. Oh, here we go. Okay. Okay, so Autumn Years launched its first issue in the summer of 2014. We are very fortunate because on this Zoom call, we have our cover model, Ellen Reinkraut, who lives in Franklin Lakes and is a very talented artist who was our launch issue. And, you know, taking a chance on a publication, you know, when there's a time where print is going away was a real challenge to see how this was going to work out and how successful it was. But as I said, we are now in our 8th year, which is exciting. We've grown in size and reach. Originally intended to be a Bergen County-based publication, we are now found in New York City, healthcare facilities, car dealerships. We mail to over 22 states upon request when people find out who we are and what we're doing. Our mission is very simple and very pure. It's to celebrate life. You will never see in my in the magazine an ad for a funeral parlor, because that is the one thing where I feel like that is not what I'm going. I'm going for living life to your fullest and just sharing goodness all around for people living over 60. And as we all know, people are living longer. So this magazine is basically one of a kind, and it is really offering a lot of inspiration, in my opinion. So let's go to the next. So these are just a couple covers. Ellen, I don't have you on here, I apologize, but these are just a couple covers of some of our past issues. The people that we feature are just people who are just living their life. We have, you know, farmers, we have actresses, we have ballerinas, we have writers, politicians, musicians, restaurant owners. It is, you know, really anyone who has a story to tell that is basically thriving. In the magazine, we have regular departments, and these departments are great resource of information. We have a health and welfare, which one of our writers is Roger Anthony, who's a wonderful man who just turned 80 yesterday. This man is the Jack LaLanne of our magazine. He is such an inspiration with what he writes and to try to motivate people to get out and stay healthy. We have financial planning. We have professionals that write for us on about all of the information, you know, senior related, which is great. A lot of people have questions. They will contact Carol Munns, who's actually on this call as well. And they will basically say, these are things we wouldn't mind seeing in future issues when we cover them, which is great. The county calendar is a really great resource that is to provide information for people who are just looking to get out and they don't know where to go, you know? So we basically in the magazine, we have 3 months at a time where we feature different things to do. So if it's the fall issue, we'll have apple picking, pumpkin picking, harvest fests to go to, museums, different music places to attend. So it's a nice, you know, that's a really nice thing that started it out as, you know, a 2-pager in the magazine. And due to the people who had responded so favorably, we actually have an email blast that goes out monthly, which is an extended calendar for each month, because we can't physically put all the events in the 2 pages that we have that we print. So that's something that we have a nice mailing list there. Anyone's welcome to email me to become a part of that. And you'll get monthly, just once a month, an email that goes out just updating with events that are going on. In My Words, that is an amazing page. It's an amazing department, which is anyone that has an idea that they'd like to share with anyone, readers of our magazine, contact Carol Munns, and they basically just share their story. It could be a story that they remember from their youth or an experience that they just went through. I mean, we had, with the whole year of COVID, we had a great article that was written by Sally Novak, who was basically talking about how she survived being in her assisted living for a year. How did she what were her daily routines to keep her, so to speak, sane with everything that was going on. So In My Words is a great place for anyone to write in. Again, we'll talk about Carol at the end to contact her. Technology is all around us. My father is 80, my mom's 78, and they look to that to see what's in there. We have a feature that talks about apps, what different apps you can find and download that make your life sweeter. Let's say you're going for a hike and you see some plants that you've never seen before. You can download an app that's a plant finder that could actually take a picture of a plant and you can see what it's all about. It's a great resource as well. And then the last page of the issue is called Best Bets. And that's always a very fun topic that we like to address. It could be, again, anything from home staging your house to renting your house to Airbnb. One of our issues talked about dungarees, how that's a lost word these days. It's a real fun page, and it's a nice page that we like to conclude the issue every one that comes out. So the regular departments are something you can definitely bank on for information and resources. And then we have our features, and our features are people that live in Bergen County and that are willing to share their life story. There are people who you have to be 60 years of age and older. There are people who are still working. There are people who are retired. There are people who just, are doing a little bit of both. And it's really to inspire other people who may have retired or just sitting home. They're not sure basically what's out there, and they see and they read these stories and they're like, hey, this is something that I can align myself with and consider doing some point. And the features, we usually feature 3 people, and then typically we have a place or a historical feature. We have a wonderful writer, Tim Adriance, whose family has been in Bergen County for, gosh, I want to say maybe over 100 years, and Carol can correct me there if I'm wrong. So he is an amazing resource for the magazine. So the current issue, we're featuring other amusement parks, which are not known currently to many people who are living today, but have lived in the past and have lived in the past in Bergen County primarily, and recollect these types of things. So this is just an example, which you'll see this article in the summer issue. So now this is another thing that we do when we consider featuring people who are basically giving themselves to not-for-profit organizations or any kind of organizations. These are ways of basically getting information out as far as what you can do to be involved. So for instance, I never heard of CHORE. CHORE is a volunteer organization. Basically, it's retired professionals, plumbers, electricians, contractors that they donate their time and they help people in need if they need to have grab bars installed or electrical work done in their house. So these are what I'm going to be sending you or sharing with you now are just blurbs, which you can download this file also. I'll make this available for everybody. But these are the great resources for what to do after you retire if you want to keep on, doing what you were doing before. Redefining Retirement in Hackensack is a great organization. Again, Bergen Volunteers program. This is a wonderful way of getting involved with the community and connecting you with what your talents are to better serve others. Same with the Bergen Volunteer Medical Initiative. We featured that in our second issue, our fall 2014. And again, all past and current issues of the magazine can be found on the website. So anyone can go in there and just read it. It's all free, it costs nothing. It's up there for quite a few years actually now. I think the first year is officially down, but we can always get the older copies up there as well. This was great. This was an issue a couple issues ago. There's just so many different kinds of organizations out there that people are open to find a fit for them to keep them active. This is another great one. This man, Special Olympics, this all shut down, I think, right when COVID happened. So this wasn't really happening there. Pony Power, we actually featured this on the cover about a year ago, which was great. Volunteering your time with horses up in Mawa. That's an organization that has a therapeutic facility basically for children and adults with learning disabilities. So seniors can donate their time to go up there and walk the horses around. It's a wonderful, very soothing experience when you go there. of course, then there's the Center for Food Action. People are always looking for donations and volunteers to help with that as well. And then SCORE is a great one as well, which is retired professionals in the executive world, where they want to carry that over and help small businesses or businesses starting out, all volunteers. Oh, I'm jumping ahead. So the bottom line is with what we feature, it's not just the information on the health and welfare and finance and technology, but we really try to get a big spectrum where you have resources at your fingertips for staying active, being connected to the community that you're living in, so that you basically are vibrant and continuing with your mind and your energy to just keep going, and not say, okay, well, now that I'm 75, it's time for me to just retire and do nothing. That doesn't happen anymore. So a part of Autumn Years is we sponsor an expo, which we have done in the past. With 2020, unfortunately, we had to cancel our 2 expos, and many people have called to ask when we're rescheduling. So this is a great opportunity to come out. It's a free event. You get to meet people from all different businesses, as could be assisted living, travel, business, finance, technology, just to gather information for better living. We also have a complimentary lunch under the Red Barn at Crestwood Park. It's a wonderful organization, so just definitely mark that on your calendar, September 15th. We have the Bristol, the Allendale Community for Senior Living, and Applause Home Care, who are helping to sponsor this event. And that's a rain or shine. And the most important thing is Autumn Years is a free publication. Again, it comes out quarterly, so you can call or sign up on the website for your free subscription. It's growing. We originally started, again, 8 years ago, purchased a list with a certain demographic, and since then that list is now really overwhelmed with people who want this magazine, who request this magazine. So I know that from the feedback that we receive, it's doing what it was meant to do, which is connect people, ignite people, and inspire people. So that's pretty much the presentation for Autumn Years. I do have Carol Munns, who is the editor, who can also answer questions if you have any questions in regards to Autumn Years.
Yeah, so Heidi, do you want to stop sharing your screen, and then we'll go to questions, because I had a couple of questions already.
Yes.
Oh, there we go. There, we can see all you beautiful people. So Malika, did I say that right?
Yes, thank you.
Hi. Okay, good. I was nervous about saying your name out loud. It's a very pretty name, by the way. She wanted to know where the email was to receive the calendar. So what email should she email for information about the activities calendar?
I'm going to put it in the chat. It's Autumn Years Magazine at gmail.com.
Hi, Barbara.
And if you email me, all you have to do basically say, I'd like to receive the monthly county calendar email blast, and then you'll start receiving it. We usually send it out the 24th of each month, which gives you information for the next month.
Thank you.
Sure, you're welcome.
Great presentation. Thank you.
Oh, girl, I'm so glad you were here. That makes me happy. So she would also like to know how to get a copy of the magazine, because she said they used to be at senior centers, but a lot of the senior centers were closed. So you had that information in the last screen. Would you mind typing that in the chat box for everybody?
Absolutely. If you go to the website, autumnyearsmag.com, autumnyearsmag.com, if you go in there, on the top right button is subscribe. So you could subscribe by just clicking on that, and you put your information in, and you will be on the next mailing list. Now, the summer mailing list has already mailed, but actually I will be going to senior centers today, because there's a lot of senior centers that reopen that I'll be dropping off magazines. But why not just sign up for your own, is what I say. You know, I do drop off like 20 copies at every senior center, but it is nice to have it show up in your mailbox. And again, it's free, and it's just something to look forward to. So definitely go to the website, autumnyearsmag.com, and click on subscribe. And also for the expo that's happening in September, it's a good idea to sign up in advance, because we do feed everyone who comes, and we do have over 300 people who attends. So it just gives us a great idea for food planning.
I'm glad. So Heidi, yeah, so Heidi's gonna put her email address in the chat box as
Okay.
well.
Thank you. Magazine at gmail.com. Oop, Gmail. Yes.
Does
I'm
any-
very approachable. So you can call me, you can email me. I'll put my phone number in there as well.
Great. This was a wonderful presentation. Does anybody have any other questions? Like, feel free. I mean, we have plenty of time right now, so I definitely suggest like unmuting yourself if you have any questions about the magazine, about the features, about the things to do in the area, or maybe something that you want to see.
Yeah.
We have time to discuss.
We are always open. Carol, again, if she wants to unmute herself, she can chime into that one. We're always open to feature someone here would like to select or refer. That's how we get a lot of our features that we decide to put in the magazine. It's a neighbor, a friend, a family member who says, I want to highlight this person for this reason. We go through a process. They have to be willing to share their age, because a big part of the magazine is to say, hey, I'm 75 and I'm still doing this. So, and the only two basically requisites are having your age being shown and also that you should live in Bergen County. That's it, because it is a Bergen County based magazine, even though, again, it mails to 22 states and we are seen in Rockland County and New York City. There's so many people that live right here in Bergen County that have amazing stories to tell. So we really would like to just, go through that and keep it.
Heidi, can I say something?
Yes.
When we get, and I get a lot of suggestions, we're a small staff, and even though both Heidi and I have lived in this area for many, many, many years, the cross section of people we know personally is somewhat limited. What I do when someone has an idea that sounds like it could make a great story, I contact that person and not just say, oh, we're going to come over and interview you, let us know your age, and we're moving along. I actually call them and I describe our process, because a lot of people who we do feature are folks who have not necessarily been published anyplace else, and they haven't sat down with a reporter over the years, and their concept of reporting these days is kind of driven a little bit by social media, which is not a good thing. So I call them and I talk about how the process works. I tell them that I've assigned a writer. They recognize then if someone calls them who that person is. I explain that we never publish anything that has not been approved by the people that we interview. That's a given. And that Heidi is obviously a terrific photographer, and then she works with them to do a photo shoot, share pictures of their life. So we really do try to make people feel very comfortable and confident that they are being treated respectfully. And of course, that's been particularly true these past several months with the COVID, and we've had absolutely not any trouble at all. We have done what we've been doing all along, and it's worked out quite fine. And I see that Carol is on this call, and Carol was on a cover once, weren't you, Carol?
Oh, Carol Reed, sure.
There she is. I see her name. I don't see her face, but I see her name. Yeah. And she is living to tell about it.
That's right. That's right.
So please do. If you have any suggestions yourself, or somebody who might want to share some suggestions, my email address is editor.autumnyears@gmail.com. Couldn't be simpler. And I will always answer these messages as well. And if there's a reason why there's an issue, or it could be somebody that may have already been featured in the past, that's happened sometimes too. The other thing I wanted to mention, Heidi, when you were talking about the issues that are on our website, they really only go back to about, I guess at this point, isn't it the fall of 2006 or something like that? Because we only put about 12 or 15, isn't that correct?
2016, I think, yes.
However, this is the internet where nothing ever really goes away. So if there's an issue that you've heard about, that you remember reading about, that was an older issue, and you cannot find it on our website, go to Google, type in the name of the magazine and the issue you want, and I can guarantee you it's there somewhere.
That is true. Once it's out there, it's out there.
Oh, and yes, all the people who've done silly things on, I don't know, Facebook or TikTok or Instagram have all learned that lesson. So, but yes, I look forward to getting some suggestions. We are very open to that.
Oh,
Yes, we're always-
I love that. Do you guys have a favorite story that you, or a story that inspired you that you heard as a feature writer? Or if there's anybody on the call who's been a part of the Autumn Years story, you can feel free to unmute yourself and tell us about your experience if you want. I don't want to pick on anyone, so.
I think we've already done that, Laura.
I think, well, both Ellen and Carol are on, and you know, Ellen, I never heard of Ellen before. Carol brought her to my attention 8 years ago, and lo and behold, it's this amazing artist who is just colorful and creative and, you know, very inspirational to me, because I did go to art school as a background, so I was very much excited to have her on our first, you know, launching of the magazine. Her energy was just so positive. Definitely. And with Carol, I met Carol at a friend's party, and I just was so enthralled with her. We were talking, and here's this beautiful lady who looks like she's in her maybe late 40s. And when I found out how old she was, I'm like, oh, we've got to get you in the magazine. She was still working as a nurse in Columbia. And I thought, oh, her story's too good not to share. So that's how Carol, you know, got into the magazine. But a lot of it's word of mouth, like Carol said, but, you know, that can only go so far. So we are always open to hear other people's stories and, you know, refer people. It's a very simple process. So definitely.
It really is. And you should know that, of course, we cover the full demographic of those over 60. And we have already had an article about a lovely woman who lives in Westwood who does volunteer work for the library, and she's 102.
That's right. She's 102.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
Mhm.
That's amazing. I see, one of the things that I love about the fact that you did this program is that, you know, we want to make sure it's like life doesn't end. Like the more active you are, the more sweet your life is, right? So
Absolutely. Yeah.
You know, there was an article just recently in one of the AARP magazines, and I saw it elsewhere as well. There's been a scientific research done, and kind of obvious, and yet it does have some scientific basis as well, as the more contact they have found that people over a certain age have with others, be it 10 people a day or whatever. There was actually a numerical number attached to this. The more likely they're going to not only enjoy their life more, they're going to live longer and very likely remember who they are. So there's a lot of art to this, but there's a lot of science to it as well.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. I mean, their life is definitely sweeter. That's for sure. So Pat, do you have a question? I see that your hand is up.
Hi. No, I actually was going to comment. Hello. I had never heard of Autumn Years magazine until several years ago when we got a call. My husband and I are presidents of our square dance club, and Autumn Years was looking to do a feature on some square dancers. So we had two of our members who were in their early 80s who had been dancing for 20 years were featured. I don't remember the month that the article took place in, but there was a whole article that dealt with square dancing. And when I saw that, it turned me onto the magazine. I've been looking at the online versions and got some unbelievable information. So it really is a wonderful resource. So thank you for doing that for us.
Thank you.
Thank you, Pat. That's a wonderful comment. I'm so glad you took yourself off of mute and video so we could have that lovely comment. It's really nice.
And we haven't danced this past year, but we're hoping to dance again. So if anybody's interested in square dancing, I'll give a little plug for that as well. And it is an
This is lovely. I love it. And one of the things that I noticed is one of my favorite places was featured in Summer's magazine, Conrads.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Uh,
yeah.
I didn't realize that they were senior aged.
Oh, yes. Yes, they are. Yeah,
Mhm.
it's a lovely couple. That was a fun photo shoot. And the funny thing is, the title of this presentation is Sweeten Your Life, and here we are on the cover they're eating ice cream. Conrads.
Mm.
No,
Like,
not
look.
only they a little bit older couple, but that store is the oldest business in Westwood, period.
Yeah.
Because the woman, Corinne's father worked there as a teenager and worked there his whole adult life. And when the man, Mr. Conrad, wanted to sell it, he sold it to Corinne's father. So it has a wonderful history to it. It's really worth reading. It's a great story.
Oh, I love that. All right, well, guys, well, does anybody else have any other questions or comments or anything like that before we kind of say goodbye? No? All right, well,
Hi, hi.
oh, yes, please,
It's
Carol,
Carol.
hi.
Hi, how are you? How's
Good.
everybody? So I just wanted to say this is my first time joining one of your meetings. And I love the magazine. I look forward to reading it every time it comes out. I haven't been able to do much of anything. I did retire, by the way, last year, and not a good retirement because I've been sick for almost a year.
Oh,
Oh.
no.
But I'm on the mend. Probably by August, I'll be all mended. And so your magazine keeps me busy. I read articles. I just do whatever I can on the slow side. So it's a good thing, Heidi, you're not taking my picture now. You wouldn't recognize me.
Oh, Carol, I'm sorry to hear this. Oh,
Yeah, but I'm going to be good. It's going to be good. But I just enjoy the reading. I enjoy seeing what goes on in Bergen County, and it keeps me going. One of the things that keeps me going. So thank you.
Oh, Carol, I'm sorry to hear, but I'm happy to hear you're on the mend, and I'm glad that you
Yes.
look forward to the magazine. And thank you for being a part
Yes.
of the magazine and sharing your story,
Oh, thank you for having me.
of course.
Well, Carol, I'm so glad you're here. I'm glad you're trying to keep busy. So it's really nice to have you on the call, and we can keep you apprised of other programs we do, because I know Heidi and me and Dean, who's just jumping on the call, wanted maybe do a couple programs for fall, a couple virtual programs for fall. So yeah, so we're coming towards the end to our programs. I'm so happy that all of you guys came today, even though it's beautiful outside. So we appreciate that. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna send a wrap-up email to all of the attendees, and it's just links to all of the recordings. So if you missed the first two recordings, the Protect Your Life and the Decluttering Your Life, I'll send an email with the links to view those. So that way you can view them whenever you want. And then also this will be up probably later today or the day after. And then I'll also include that in the email as well. So this way, if you have any friends who maybe missed some of the programs, you can send them the links as well. So I just wanted to maybe, Dean, are you on the call? If you are, unmute yourself.
Hey, how you doing?
Hi. So I wanted to introduce you guys before we left to Dean Brown, who is also one of the sponsors on this wonderful series that we brought to you guys. So Dean, just tell them a little bit about the Bristol.
Yep. First of all, I want to apologize. I'm a little late. The traffic from Inglewood to Armonk was really bad, so I apologize. But I'm glad that everything went well. I know Heidi did an awesome job. She always does. So again, my name is Dean Brown. I'm the Director of Business Development for the Bristol Assisted Living in New Jersey. I have 4 locations, and those 4 locations, I always say the 3 W's: Waldwick, Wayne, Woodcliff Lake, and Inglewood. And our 5th one is in Somerset. That's our newest property. And it's been there for not quite 6 months now. And again, we're assisted living plus memory care. And when Laura sends out the information, if anyone would like to reach out to me and possibly do a a tour of one of the communities, I'll be happy to help. And if you need me as a reference, please reach out to me as well. And thank you so much for coming on. Much appreciated.
Thank you so much, Dean. Sometimes he has events at the Bristol for the community, so I'm sure he'll keep you apprised of that as well.
Definitely.
All right, guys. Well, unless anybody else, oh wait, Pat, do you still have a comment or are you good?
That little hand.
I guess my hand was raised, but now it's not. So thank you. Thanks again, though. I really appreciate the magazine.
Oh, that's great. I'm so glad you enjoy it. Thank
All
you.
right, guys. Well, thank you so much for attending the meeting. And again, I'll be sending out an email with all the links to the recorded programs. Thank you so much. All right. Bye, everybody.
Have a great week.
Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.